David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney+. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney+ every night.
Tonight we have breaking news. Iran says it has fired warning shots at U.S. Navy ships. The ceasefire with Iran on the brink. President Trump speaking with ABC News just a short time ago as Iran state media airs those shots toward U.S. Navy ships. Iran also accused tonight of attacking commercial vessels and Iranian missiles and drones attacking the UAE. The president and what he just told our Jon Karl. Also tonight, outside New York City at Newark Airport, the near disaster. The truck hit by a United passenger plane coming in for landing. At Newark Airport, the plane hitting a light pole as well. Tonight, experts say that passenger plane with more than 200 people on board just inches from disaster. Breaking news near the White House tonight, the Secret Service shootout. Authorities say a suspect armed with a gun, the White House press room and North Lawn evacuated for a time, so Pierre Thomas standing by. The deadly car rampage, a driver slamming into a crowd in a busy shopping district. Tonight, trapped on a cruise ship. 3 dead from a suspected virus breaking out. 17 Americans among the passengers trapped.
We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people.
Tonight, that cruise ship looking for a place to dock. Tonight, the sudden shutdown of Spirit Airlines pointing to rising fuel costs during this war. So what now for passengers and for the 17,000 employees? There is breaking news tonight involving that bitter legal battle between actors Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. What just happened in this case? The disturbing images tonight, the small plane crashing into a building, 2 people killed. The frightening scene, a driver allegedly slamming into a gym, they say with explosive IEDs in the vehicle. Outside New York, the massive warehouse fire forcing evacuations. We have news tonight about Dolly Parton canceling all Las Vegas shows and what she's now revealed about her health. And tonight we remember one legendary Yankees broadcaster.
The Yankees win!
36 years behind the mic, one of a kind.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with breaking news. The U.S. ceasefire with Iran is being severely tested tonight. Iran firing what it says are warning shots at U.S. Navy ships. And President Trump speaking with ABC News just a short time ago. Iran state media tonight airing images claiming to show the Iranian military firing those warning shots at U.S. ships near the Strait of Hormuz. It comes after President Trump announced the U.S. would now be helping to guide vessels through the strait. Iran also accused of attacking commercial vessels in the strait. And tonight, Iranian missiles and drones also attacking the UAE. Tonight, with gas prices in the U.S. soaring up more than 30 cents in the last week and up again today, Jon Karl tonight and what President Trump just told him about all of this.
Tonight, in week 10 of this war, the fragile ceasefire is teetering as Iran launches new attacks. Iranian state media broadcasting these images, claiming they show rockets firing warning shots at American destroyers attempting to enter the Strait of Hormuz. It came after President Trump announced that the U.S. will now help some of the 1,600 cargo ships and tankers stranded outside the strait, posting, "We will guide their ships safely out of these restricted waterways so they can freely and ably get on with their business." Today, the administration announced 2 U.S.-flagged commercial ships were able to make it through. But Iran responded with a defiant show of force, firing at American Navy vessels and a commercial South Korean ship. The head of Central Command, Admiral Brad Cooper, telling reporters the U.S. fought back, sinking 6 Iranian military boats.
The cruise missiles were going after both U.S. Navy ships, but mostly after commercial shipping. We suspended both ourselves, and consistent with our commitment, we suspended all the commercial ships.
But Iran didn't stop there. Video circulating on social media shows flames reaching toward the sky from an oil port in the United Arab Emirates after an Iranian strike, the first major attack since the ceasefire went into effect. The big question tonight, is the ceasefire collapsing? When I spoke with President Trump this afternoon, he downplayed Iran's attacks, insisting it was, quote, not heavy firing. When I asked him about the missiles fired at the UAE, he told me They were shot down for the most part. One got through, not huge damage. Trump says ships are moving through the strait and the war is going well.
It's working out very nicely.
But most Americans disagree. Our new ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll shows 61% call the war a mistake. Just 36% say it was the right decision. Americans increasingly unhappy with the state of the economy. Gas prices averaging $4.47 a gallon, up $1.53 since the start of the war, jumping more than 30 cents since just last week. Today, with gas prices up, peace talks stall, and Iran on the attack, I asked the president about the prospects for ending the war. He told me, quote, "We have it under control. One way or another, we win. And you know why, John?" He said, "I always win."
Jon Karl leading us off with this conversation tonight. John, thank you. We're also learning more tonight about this near disaster outside New York City at Newark Airport. The United passenger plane coming in for landing right over the Jersey Turnpike, hitting a truck and a light pole. Tonight, authorities say the plane with more than 200 passengers was just inches from disaster. Here's Gio Benitez.
This is the moment a delivery truck on I-95 is hit by a United Airlines passenger plane coming in for landing at New York Liberty Airport. You can see from this dashcam video the wheel from United Flight 169 with 231 people on board from Venice, Italy, destroying that bakery truck. At around 2 p.m. Sunday, gusty winds forcing that flight to land on runway 29, a shorter runway. The runway takes you right over the New Jersey Turnpike, but this final approach was dangerously close to one of the busiest highways in the country.
During strong winds out of the west, they like to use runway 29. The trade-off is that runway 29 is short, and they need to get on the ground as soon as they can, and that's why they pass over the New Jersey Turnpike so low.
The Boeing 767 jet also striking a light pole just 13 feet from the ground. Tonight, United saying that the crew has been removed from service while they conduct a rigorous safety investigation.
This is unacceptable. We have really well-trained pilots. This is one. This should never happen in America.
Miraculously, the aircraft landed safely and there were no injuries on board. Tonight, new photos obtained by ABC News show the damage to that bakery truck. That driver was taken to the hospital where he was treated and released for minor injuries. Experts say that passenger plane, seen here in an image circulating online, was just inches from disaster.
The crew was having to eyeball, were they coming in at the right angle? Were they going to be at the right altitude? Clearly, we see them fighting that altitude as they come in.
And David, tonight the NTSB is investigating everything from human error to the weather to aircraft performance. Again, this was just inches from disaster. David.
Really just incredible, and we're just glad that driver is okay. Gio, thank you. There's also breaking news from right near the White House tonight. The Secret Service shootout on the National Mall. Authorities say a suspect armed with a gun. The White House press room and North Lawn evacuated for a time, and Pierre Thomas standing by with late reporting tonight.
Tonight, another violent confrontation not far from the White House, with the U.S. Secret Service exchanging gunfire with an armed suspect. Just after 3:30 p.m., plainclothes Secret Service agents and officers walking on 15th Street and Independence Avenue near the National Mall noticed something that left them deeply concerned.
My understanding is they observed a print, we would call it, visual print of a firearm. These are trained surveillance detection personnel out there looking every day to look for just that.
There was a call for backup with uniformed Secret Service officers soon arriving to the scene. The suspect then allegedly started running and firing.
I can tell you that at least one, we believe only one bystander was hit by the suspect. That individual, it's a juvenile, did not sustain any life-threatening injuries.
The Secret Service says the vice president's motorcade had gone by a little while earlier. Authorities do not know if the incident is in any way related to the White House. But officials did evacuate the press office and shut down the North Lawn.
David, the suspect is being treated at a local hospital. All this only hours after the suspect in the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting faced a hearing about whether he should remain on 24-hour lockdown. The judge appeared sympathetic, at one point apologizing for the conditions. But some authorities were initially concerned that Cole Allen might be suicidal, and today prosecutors claim he allegedly told the FBI he thought he would die in the confrontation. David?
All right, Pierre Thomas live on this and the developments late today there in D.C. Thank you. Tonight, the passengers trapped on a cruise ship, 3 dead now from a suspected virus breaking out. And this evening, we now know 17 Americans are among those trapped, and we hear from them. Here's Victor Oquendo.
Tonight, with a suspected outbreak of hantavirus on a luxury cruise ship, 3 passengers are dead and another is in intensive care. Medics are now working to evacuate 3 people on board the Dutch-based ship, which has been refused permission to dock in Cape Verde off West Africa. Jake Rosemarin, one of 17 Americans trapped on board.
What's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home.
Hantavirus is a rare but serious illness spread by exposure to rodents. It's the same virus that killed Gene Hackman's wife, Betsy Arakawa, last year.
There is no documented person-to-person transmission, but the risk is in the environment. Places like cabins, barns, or areas that are infested with rodents are considered high risk, and those are areas you want to avoid.
Tonight, passengers are being told to stay in their cabins.
All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home.
Experts say hantavirus symptoms may not present for weeks. The cruise ship operator says they are working on medical care and screening for passengers. David?
All right, Victor Oquendo reporting. Victor, thank you. Overseas tonight, the horrific scene unfolding in Germany, southwest of Berlin. The deadly car rampage there, a driver slamming into a crowd in a busy shopping district. At least 2 people killed, 20 more injured. First responders racing to the scene, treating victims right there in the street. The city's mayor tonight saying the car was driving at a high rate of speed, at least 3 victims in critical condition. The driver has been arrested, but no word on a motive tonight. Meantime, back here in the U.S., into the fallout after the sudden shutdown of Spirit Airlines. Tonight, the airline pointing to rising fuel costs during this war as the driving reason. So what now for passengers and the 17,000 employees? Here's Rebecca Jarvis.
Tonight, some 17,000 now former Spirit Airlines employees are wondering how they'll land back on their feet, and passengers are scrambling after the airline suddenly shut down.
Your flight has now been canceled.
The final flight's landing in Dallas around midnight Saturday morning. Pilots from other airlines bidding farewell to their peers over the radio.
Hey, Spirit, from us guys at American, good luck to y'all. Sorry to hear what happened.
Emotions on display outside Spirit headquarters in Florida.
For us, it's not just the loss of the job, it's our routine, our identities, our friendship.
Spirit, which had already filed for bankruptcy twice, most recently last August, blaming its demise on skyrocketing fuel prices. Experts say the loss of Spirit could drive up ticket prices across the board.
When the industry has fewer seats in the market, prices go up.
And David, prices have already been climbing, up 21% since a year ago. The average price of an economy ticket now $570. And as long as customers are willing to pay, prices are expected to remain higher. David?
All right, Rebecca, our thanks to you as well. There remains a search tonight for suspects following that mass shooting at Arcadia Lake just outside Oklahoma City. Gunfire erupting during a large gathering at a campgrounds over the weekend there. Nearly 24 people hurt, 3 in critical condition, bystanders racing some of the victims to the hospital in their own cars. Tonight, the mayor vowing to restore safety to that area. There is late word tonight involving that bitter legal battle between actors Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. They're dueling allegations over filming of the movie It Ends With Us. What just happened in this case tonight, and here's Aaron Katursky.
They came face-to-face in It Ends With Us, one directing, both acting. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni will not come face-to-face in a courtroom. Tonight, 2 weeks before trial, Lively and Baldoni's production company reached a settlement, ending one of Hollywood's highest-profile feuds.
So I'm talking to you as a friend at this point.
Before filming started, Lively confided in Baldoni. Their relationship soured on set. She accused him of sexual harassment and launching a smear campaign to ruin her reputation. He denied it and sued her for defamation. A judge tossed that out. Tonight, both sides saying, we acknowledge the process presented challenges and recognize concerns raised by Ms. Lively deserve to be heard. We remain firmly committed to workplaces free of improprieties and unproductive environments. The settlement concludes a 1.5 years of contentious litigation that drew in other celebrities like Hugh Jackman, Gigi Hadid, and Taylor Swift. In this text, Swift celebrated the use of My Tears Ricochet in the movie, writing, "Wow, I love how they use the song." Lively responded, "I'm obsessed with you."
Terms of the settlement were not disclosed, David, but both sides said they hope it brings closure. They also called for a respectful environment online. David?
All right, Aaron Katursky following this case. Thank you. Tonight, Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito temporarily restoring access to the abortion pill Mifepristone, keeping it available through telehealth, mail, and pharmacies for now. A federal appeals court in Louisiana had ruled doctors in every state could no longer prescribe the pill by mail or telehealth. It's used in about 2/3 of all abortions in the U.S. Two drug companies appealing to the Supreme Court. The drug approved as safe and effective by the FDA back in the year 2000. When we come back tonight, disturbing images this evening. The small plane crash right into a building. 2 people killed. We'll have more on this. Also outside New York, the massive warehouse fire forcing evacuations. We also have news on Dolly Parton tonight. She has canceled all of her shows in Vegas and what she's now revealed herself about her health. And you'll hear from her in a moment. And tonight here, we remember legendary Yankees broadcaster John Sterling. 36 years behind the mic. He was one of a kind. And we'll listen to all those calls in a moment here. Tonight, disturbing images coming in from Brazil. A plane crash killing 2 people seen flying low and slamming into a 3-story building in Brazil. Fire officials saying the pilot and co-pilot died. 2 passengers were pulled from the wreckage with serious injuries. Back here in the U.S. tonight, evacuations in New Jersey after a massive inferno at a mattress warehouse. Towering flames, thick black smoke erupting from an industrial building in Bellevue. This was Sunday. The fire spreading to surrounding factories and destroying an entire block. Strong winds pushing the smoke into nearby communities. Officials had to declare a state of emergency, closing schools. In Portland, Oregon tonight, authorities say a driver crashed into a gym, his SUV reportedly filled with explosives. Video tonight obtained by the Oregonian showing that SUV barreling through the glass of that club in Portland. Police say the crash was intentional, the SUV reportedly exploding inside the gym, the driver dying. The gym says he was a former employee. When we come back here on the broadcast, we have news on Dolly Parton tonight, her cancellations in Vegas and what she's now saying about her health. And then this rattlesnake warning, multiple attacks on the same trail in a moment here. To the index of other news tonight, hikers in Southern California on alert tonight after reports of rattlesnake bites on trails in Ventura County. Long Canyon Trail, Buena Vista Trail among them. Fire officials reporting 8 bites in 8 weeks along the trails, mostly in Ventura County. Hikers are urged to wear protective clothing and to stay on the trails. Well, tonight, Dolly Parton has now canceled all of her Las Vegas concerts, but she says she is getting better. She says she's been dealing with kidney stones for quite some time, and now her body needs time to recover.
My immune system and my digestive system got all out of whack over the past 3 years, and they're working real hard on rebuilding and strengthening those.
Dolly says she is responding well to medical treatment, needs a little more time before she can get back on stage. Dolly, you take as much time as you want. You know, we are rooting for you here at ABC. When we come back tonight, we remember legendary Yankees broadcaster John Sterling, 36 years behind the mic, one of a kind. Finally tonight, he was the voice of the Yankees, America Strong. John Sterling was a major league legend, right along with the players.
3-2, swung on and hit high in the air to deep right. That ball is high, it is far, it is gone!
The voice of the Yankees for nearly 4 decades.
Burn, baby, burn!
Generations of families listening to him on the radio, his signature saying, "The Yankees win," after each victory.
The Yankees win!
John Sterling calling more than 5,600 Yankees games in 36 seasons, including an incredible 5,060 games in a row from 1989 to 2019.
Hayes has room. Hayes.
He was behind the mic for 8 World Series, the Yankees winning 5 of them.
Yankees win! The Yankees win!
He was there for the greats, calling every game Derek Jeter played.
Derek Jeter homers.
Every pitch Mariano Rivera threw.
Now Rivera is set.
And Aaron Judge's record-setting home run.
Number 62 to set the new.
Tonight, Aaron Judge says John meant so much to the team, to Yankees fans, to baseball fans. John Sterling died today at the age of 87 due to complications following a heart attack.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with my good friend, John Sterling.
Tonight, friend and colleague, fellow Yankees announcer Michael Kay recalling a final wish John Sterling had to be there for his daughter's wedding.
He said, "Michael, I have to walk her down the aisle." And that's why I was hanging on.
Tonight here, John Sterling in his own words.
How lucky can you be for people to celebrate what you do for a living? So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, and God bless you all.
John Sterling, a Yankees legend. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Good night.
David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America.